श्री श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Canto 4, Chapter 12, Text 29. Parityabhyacharya dishnyagryam. Parityabhyacharya dishnyagram. Parshado abhivandya cha. Parshado abhivandya cha. Yesha tad adhistatum. Yesha tad adhistatum. Bibrat rupam hiranmayam. Bibrat rupam hiranmayam. Parityabhyarchya dishnyagryham. Parshado abhivandya cha. Yesha tad adhistatam. Bibrat rupam hiranmayam. Parityabhyarchya dishnyagryham. Parshado abhivandya cha. Yesha tad adhistatum. Bibrat rupam hiranmayam. Parityabhyaccha dishnyagriham. Parshado abhivandya cha. Yesha tad adhistatam. Bibrat rupam hiranmayam. Parityabhyacharya dishnyagriham. Parshada abhivandya cha. Yesha tad adhistatum. Bibrat rupam hiranmayam. Parityabhyarchya dishnyagriham. Parshado abhivandya cha. Yesha tad adhistatam. Bibrat rupam hiranmaya. Mataji. Parityabhyacharya dishnyagriham. Parshado abhivandya cha. Yesha tad adhistatam. Bibrat rupam hiranmayam. Parityabhyacharya dishnyagriham. Parshado abhivandya cha. Yesha tad adhistatam. Bibrat rupam hiranmayam. Paritya. Having circumambulated. Abhyarchya. Having worshipped. Dishnyagriham. The transcendental airplane. Parshado. Unto the two associates. Abhivandya. Having offered obeisances. Cha. Also. Yesha. Being attempted. tat, that plane, adhistatum, to board, bibrat, illuminating, rupam, his form, hiranmayam, golden. Translation and purport device His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Before getting aboard, Dhruva Maharaja worshipped the airplane, circumambulated it, and also offered obeisances to the associate of Vishnu. In the meantime, he became as brilliant and illuminating as molten gold. He was thus completely prepared to board the transcendental plane. Purport. In the absolute world, the plane, the associates of Lord Vishnu himself are all spiritual. There is no material contamination. In quality, everything there is one. As Lord Vishnu is worshipable, as also are his associates, his paraphernalia, his airplane and his abode. For everything of Vishnu is as good as Lord Vishnu. Dhruva Maharaja knew all this very well. As a pure Vaishnava, and he offered his respects to the associates and to the plane before riding in it. But in the meantime, his body changed into the spiritual existence. Therefore, it was illuminating like molten gold. In this way, he also became one with other paraphernalia of Vishnu Loka. Mayavadi philosophers cannot imagine how this oneness can be achieved even in different varieties. Their idea of oneness is there is no variety. Therefore, they have become impersonalist. As Shishumara, Vishnu Loka or Dhruva Loka are completely different from this material world, so as a Vishnu temple. Within this world, also completely different from this material world. As soon as we are in temple, we should know very well that we are situated differently from the material world. In the temple, Lord Vishnu, his throne, his room, and all other things associated with the temple are transcendental. The three modes, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, have no entrance into the temple. It's also said that to live in the forest is in the mode of goodness, to live in the city is a mode of passion, and to live in a brothel, liquor shop or slaughterhouse is in the mode of ignorance. But to live in the temple means to live in Vaikuntha Loka. Everything in the temple is as worshipable as Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's chant Mangalachram. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnana Jana Salakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapata Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanakshagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Shrite Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhasya Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I'll take all the blessings of the assembled Vaishnavis, all my spiritual master, Siksha Gurus, mentors, and to Prabhupada. So right word comes at the right time. So we are at the end section where this is such a nice, right? So Dhruva Maharaj is entering into the plane, which we are all anxious. When do we enter into the plane? So what happens into the plane? So how? Right. So let's try to understand what's happening it before doing it. So this chapter, it started with means when the Swayambhu Manu has uh, made pacified Dhruva Maharaj, his anger got reduced. So the Maitreya starts one. So once the anger reduced only, Kuvera has entered. So that means when we have anger or the falls from our mind, we will not get anything. So when the Kuvera has come, he said that you have listened to your grandfather instruction. So that means unless until we hear something, we cannot improve on ourselves. So once you have that instruction, then you have given up your enmity. So that's a very important. Unless until we don't have our heart is the place the Lord has to sit. If our heart is filled with enmity, envious, the Lord cannot sit. So that's the only things he is just telling. And he is telling it's very difficult to avoid it, but you have done. I am very pleased with you. That's what the Kuvera has telling. So then Kuveras will be asking to Dhruva Maharaj to ask for the benediction, what the benediction wants. And Maitreya Muni beautifully says that one, what benediction? He says that one, Dhruva Maharaj is a very pure devotee and he is a very intelligent, because he asked the benediction is the same. Kuvera we all know is one of the richest person, right? So he is the one to give all the money well. But to him what he asked it? He has the very two important things we as a devotee we want is, one is that unflinching faith. Faith is a very important. That's the first thing he has. Dhruva Maharaj has so much faith, but he is asking again faith. That's one. And second thing is remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he has seen the God. Even then he is asking. These are the two things we always have to have in our bhakti. Then Kuvera was very pleased, and then he blessed with Dhruva Maharaj. Then Dhruva Maharaj comes back, and he's been living for 36,000 years. So though he was the king, but the way he lived, all the pious and impious, whatever he occurred, it's all been gone. So at a certain point of time, he decided, okay, I'm done. I'm going to the, he's going to the Badrikashram, where he takes doing the full austerity. So the place itself means Maitreya Muni says that one. He says that one. He is bathing regularly in the crystal clear. It's such a nice place, that itself. But the very important thing is what he has done, the meditation on the Archa Vigraha, the Lord. So unless until we do a meditation on the Lord, we cannot. That's a whole importance. The meditation of the Lord is the very important. After meditation, what happened? He went into the trance. Samadhi, he achieved the state of Samadhi. So, how do we achieve it? Unless until our mind is not purified, our mind is having so much of thought, envious, lust, anger, greed, then we will not have that Samadhi. That's the only thing. How he has done it? By meditating on chanting the Lord's name. So once he has done all he started getting the transcendental means his hair standing on the end, and he's having tears flowing and everything. So he's been well thinking the Lord. So that means he achieved the state to see the Lord. That time there is a airplane is coming, which is as like a full moon. Imagine there is a full moon which is coming down. So it was that kind of one. It was such a illuminating. So when it comes, he saw that two Vishnu Dutas, Nanda Sunanda, they are coming, and then he is offering them the obeisances. And then the very important things, what they are saying is, what you have achieved, no one has achieved earlier. It's like all the sun, moon, all the devatas are trying to achieve. Even your father, grandfather, no one has achieved. You have achieved by. How you have achieved it? By remembering the Lord, doing the devotional service to the Lord, you have achieved. That's the one thing. Prabhupada beautifully writes the one. Whatever Dhruva Maharaj has got it, anyone and everyone can get this one by just simply doing the transcendental devotional service. Right? So now Dhruva Maharaj is entering into the airplane. So before he doing, in the previous verse we saw, he took the bath and then he finished the morning, his daily spiritual duties. That means he has finished his sadhana. Now he is getting ready to go. So now what he is doing? first thing is he is just circumambulating the airplane and then offering obeisance to the Vishnu Dutas and then offering to the associates of Vishnu. So that means Nanda and Sunda. So that time what happens? His body is being transformed into a molten gold. Now he is ready to enter in. Right? So here there are very few important points. Right? There are 3 points over here. One is that he is worshipping the airplane, and then he is offering obeisances to the devotees, and then his body is being transformed, the body is changing, right? So Prabhupada starts very beautifully, right? So he says everything associated with the Lord is transcendental, has to be worshipped. So he says that there is no material contamination. As Lord Vishnu is worshipable, so also are his associates, his paraphernalia, his airplane, his abode. For everything is Vishnu is as good as Lord Vishnu. Is this? Why do we need? I worship Lord Vishnu, I understand, but why do we need to worship the paraphernalia? There is a one, right? So I don't know. This somebody has took it or one. So there was a one American singer. Her name is Scarlett Johansson. She has sneezed in a show. That tissue, somebody has paid $5,000 to bought it. I don't know, they understood wrongly. Getting her sneeze tissue will be become like her. That's okay, just $5,300. But you know, right? Michael Jordan's his last when he was playing the last league, so his sneakers have been sold for $2.2 million just a couple of years back. So that was the one. There are many crazy things. People say we do all the ones. Ellis Perry's, his, hair lock. Somebody got it for $115K. Even that, there is many things. We think we take all the Charnamurta. Some YouTuber Charnamurta has been sold for $30 jar. So people are crazy, and then they say that we do sometimes crazy things, but they don't know what they are doing it, right? So that's how. So coming to the point, right? See, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami beautifully writes in one, when he sees his Lord Govinda, right? In one, he is saying that he's the Lord Govinda is like means like as Radha Gopinath means he is like a Raja Sheva. He's like a majestic. His Lord is there. His ornaments, everything are transcendental. He writes as a Divya Vastra. So everything is a transcendental. Anything associated with the Lord is a transcendental. Why that is associated with the Lord is a transcendental, right? So the remembrance it gives the Lord when you see the Lord's one, because everything is like Lord's, his paraphernalia, everything is it's Lord Balaram's, right? It's like a Lord Balaram's. It means giving, and that is giving us the bhakti. When we have that one, we smell, and then we think about the Lord. We see the Lord, right? So that gives us the remembrance. It's always making us to engage our interaction with the Lord. That's how we can get it, because it's all Lord's, right? So this is how do we really understand it, right? Again, we'll take from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? So King Prataparudra is very strong devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wants to see Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu is like very strict. He don't want to associate it any with king. He say that you don't want to hear the name king, but how can I associate with King Prataparudra? But king was he's such a humble devotee. He arranges so much things for the Lord's arrangement. His devotees, whenever he comes, stays, he takes her everything. He does lots of services. Mahaprabhu was happy with the one, but he don't want to. He was now displaying how the real renunciation should look like. Right? He don't want to engage it. So at one point of time, it's a very beautifully Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, King Prataparudra will be like lamenting it. That's a very good thing for us to meditate. So he said that one. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful to everyone except to me. So that was his meditation mood. So he will deliver everyone except me. So that was his mood he has it, right? So means Mahaprabhu's all the devotees they will try to convince, means they all try to say to Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu will not agree. Then Lord Nityananda arranges, he gives something so that he will remember. So that time Mahaprabhu gives his loin cloth, right? When he got it, the Prataprudra, he'll feel like he achieved the Mahaprabhu. That's what the feeling he got it. So getting that cloth is like he sees that cloth is nothing but Mahaprabhu, right? So Mahaprabhu is means he has done very beautiful pastimes in the one. So he gives his gift close to his heart, whatever it he gives to his devotees, right? For Raghunath Das Goswami, after seeing his so much of austerity, Mahaprabhu gave what he gave. He gave so his own Shila and then his Gunjamala. So whichever he do, he chant. It's been said that the Sila is always be wet because Mahaprabhu hold when he chants he is always be crying. That's what the one, even which is close to heart, he gives that one. When he gets that one, Raghunath Goswami is being like he got the Mahaprabhu. Doing the service to that Sila is like directly serving to the Mahaprabhu. Right? Same thing he is given to the Raghunath Bhatta Goswami as well. Right? He gave the garland which he got from the Lord Jagannath. Tulsi garlands and also betel nut. Right? So means it's all the devotees they know if they value how much they get it from the Lord. It's like that's what they see is the one. The whole Raghunath Das Goswami is that his whole wealth is only these two things, that mala and then the sila. That's what the one. So I mean let's try to understand this paraphernalia part some more, right? So this is from the Ramayana. So we know Lord Ramchandra went to forest, right? So when Bharat came, he said, I cannot be the king, you have to be there. Then he goes and gets the Lord's padaka, say Lord's means slippers, and then he just worship and one. He says that Lord's slippers only should be rule the one. I am just the servant of the Lord's slipper. So that's how he takes and then does. So now what's happened, this is a very beautiful pastimes. 14 years happened and Lord Ramachandra has finished his Vanavas, 14 years in the forest. Now he has to return back. When he returns, Bharatvaj Muni, he has to come to his ashram to honor him or honor the prasadam what he offers. So Lord Ramachandra cannot say no, so he has to go to their one. But when he goes there, he was thinking, this is the 14th year, if I am finishing it, if I am not going, Bharat cannot tolerate even a minute. So what happens is, so he may die. So that was the Lord's dilemma. Then what is the Lord he sends Hanuman to Nandagram, where the Bharat was, he is also being very austere, he is staying it, where he is sending. So that day it was a situation. Lord Ramachandra is in with the Bharadvaj Muni, where he is with his all the Sita Ma and everyone. So he is finishing his Vanavas to return it. So whereas in that Bharat, he was like 14 years happened, my Lord Ramachandra has not come, I don't want to live anymore. Lord is not coming back. That was his state. So that time he was about to leave his body by himself. That time what happened? Lord Hanuman enters. When the Lord Hanuman enters, he started singing of the glory of the Lord. Right? When he started singing of the glory of the Lord, Bharat has fell down. Unconsciousness. He became when hearing the Lord Ram. Then he gets up. When he hears the Lord Ram singing by the Hanuman, so he went and embraced the Lord Hanuman. Right? So Bharat is in full of tears because he heard the name Lord Ram by his one of the pure devotee. right? But whereas what happened, the status of the Hanuman, he started having tears because of seeing the devotion of the Bharat. So that's how the two devotees, when they meet, they started. Hanuman is thinking, oh, Bharat is such a nice, beautiful devotee, whereas the Bharat is thinking, he is singing the Lord Ram name, so he is a more devotee. On seeing this, when they are doing and embracing, Lord Ram was happy. That's what the Valmiki will write it. When they are doing this, Lord Ram was happy. Right? When the Hanuman says that one, by serving the Lord's food, the sleeper's Padaka, he becomes the Lord Padaka itself, Lord Bharat. So that's what Hanuman glorifies the Bharat. Right? So this is how, when we have the association with the devotees, with the Lord, paraphernalia, everything, we started thinking, we just get that what we are always anxious for it, right? That's how we have the remembrance of it. So that's the first part of the one. Second part is he's doing the obeisances of the association of Lord Vishnu, right? That's a very important one. It's been very important. It's been said lot of places. Doing obeisances is one of the let's say what kind of a must have for our sadhakas, not only for sadhakas. Let's try to understand few more, right? So by doing obeisances, what we are showing, what is the purpose of doing obeisances? It shows our humility, right? So that means we are falling down in front of the Lord. It shows our humility. We are accepting to the Lord, yes, I can't do anything, Lord, I need your mercy. It shows a humility. And what we are doing, we show the respect to the Lord. We show the respect. Yes, Lord, you are my Lord. You show the respect. And then devotional, it's one of the form of devotional service by doing the obeisances, right? So now let's try to understand how more on this, right? So one time Prabhupada was this was shared by one of the Prabhupada disciples, and I think he did, this is from Udayananda Prabhu, so I think he did obeisances, but behind Prabhupada. Prabhupada could notice it, that's what Prabhu was telling. But he was doing his Gayatri, and Prabhupada said, what is the use of chanting if he is not doing obeisances, if he is not showing respect to the spiritual master? What is the use of chanting? That's a very important. In another example also Prabhupada says, in another one person, he didn't do the obeisances. Then Prabhupada says, he is falling down. So that's a very important, that when we're doing the obeisances, it is what we connect with the Lord. So that's how we just do it. Some people will think, what doing obeisances? Why do we need to do obeisances, right? I'm coming from southern part of India, wherein if politician goes in the aeroplane, people do obeisances. The flight will be going, they'll be doing. They don't know what they are doing. They think all this one. There was one incident. Somebody comes to do obeisances to thank, for a thankful, he just comes and do obeisance to the politician. But time what happened? That time no one is to take a photograph. He is calling photographer, come and take. His Lord is want to see, oh come, you're doing obeisances? No, this is how to show our love to the Lord. It's one of the way, right? So Krishna says very beautifully, right? Krishna says, Manmana Vadmakta Madhyaji Namaskuru. See, he says Namaskuru. You start the Namaskuru. That itself the way of starting it. You don't need to do so much complicated. You just doing offering obeisances itself enough, right? So this is one, maybe I would have repeated a lot of times this, but in Uddhav Gita, after telling so many things, Uddhava says, Krishna, I can't understand all this. And tell me something which I can do it. Krishna says very thing. Whenever you see anyone, you offer him obeisances, thinking I am there in with them, then you will get everything. So that's the importance of obeisances. We think it's a very small, but it has lots of significance, right? So how do we do obeisances, right? So it means Brahma says in the, right, we all know that Tatte Anukampa, right? So he says, I do obeisances by, we think we are just, by body we just doing, falling flat, we are doing obeisances. But in Brahma he says, he is doing offering is Hrid Vak Vapur. It's not only the body, his mind, his words, everything is offering to the Lord. That's the obeisances. So when we are offering to the Lord, we offering everything. It's like that's how. So he he says very beautifully, right? Hrid Vak Vapur Vidam Namaste. So I just offer everything. I offer my obeisances, not only the body and everything. Right? So there are a lot of places in the Purana, means in the Vedas it said that someone unknowingly offering the obeisances also, it's been more beneficial, right? So one of the reasons why Mahaprabhu took sannyas is because people, when they started, at least they offer him the obeisances, they show the respect because of the sannyas. So that means they are getting the benefit. That's one of the reasons for Mahaprabhu took the one, so that at least Mayavadi will get delivered, right? So there is another beautiful one. We know Vishnu Sahasranam, where Shankaracharya has written a commentary, Bhashya for the Vishnu Sahasranam. When he given the end of the commentary, he quotes one verse from the Mahabharata. Right? I'll just read the translation. So everyone salutation offered with sincerity to Lord Krishna, it's equivalent to 10 Ashwamedha yajnas properly performed. Who has performed 10 yajnas may still take another birth, but who has salute Krishna is never born again. So offering obeisances is equal to doing 10 Ashwamedha yajnas, right? Even if you're doing 10 Ashwamedha yajnas, there is no guarantee that will not come back birth. We may birth it, but offering, whereas if we offer obeisance to the Lord, we'll never born again. So what happens when the Shankaracharya he quotes that verse, then after the commentary he's saying that by quoting this verse, I'm offering this as my offer to the Lord's lotus feet. So that's how he just offered his one. So he says that one anything before start and the end, we need to offer that to the Lord as for obeisances, right? So in that section there is one more beautiful point from the Bali Maharaj, right? We know how Bali Maharaj has gone through, right? Imagine you are a king, you have everything in the one. Within a second, everything is gone away, taken away. You have everything. It's like you have whole everything. In a second, everything has taken away, right? And then what happened after taken away? He's been arrested, and then he's surrendered. Means he's been arrested and took down to a Patal Lok in front of he's been cursed by his spiritual master Sukracharya and all his family in front of everyone. He has been humiliated, everything, right? So, but he offers, when everything Lord gives back him and give the offerings and gives everything, he prays only one. There is that chapter there will be around 20-25 sloka verses. In that only one verse which Bali Maharaj talks, whereas others will talk it. The Bali Maharaj says one very beautiful one, right? So I'll just read a translation. Bali Maharaj said, "What a wonderful effect there is in even attempting to offer respectful obeisances to you. I merely endeavored to offer you obeisances, but nonetheless attempt was successful as those of pure devotees. The causeless mercy you have shown to me, a fallen demon, was never achieved by the demigods or the leaders of the various planets." Right? So the very beautiful point is, in even attempting to offer respectful obeisances. If you look at the whole section, Bali Maharaj section, Bali Maharaj would have never offered obeisance to the Lord Vamanadev comes. He wants to offer the obeisances, but it was his family, his royalness, his spiritual master, everyone didn't allow. But he was like in the heart, he was doing offering, trying to offer the obeisances. Just trying to offer, right? He didn't offer the obeisances. He's telling, no, it's actually a beautiful verse. It starts with the aho, means, right? So, even attempting to respect to obeisances, I merely endeavored. He said that I was merely endeavored. I didn't offer also. But the attempt was successful. The attempt itself the Lord takes. That's a whole one. The costless mercy have shown to me a fallen demon. Right? So it's not like, again, right, when you go to Tatya and Kampa, it's not just like offering obeisances. Yes, by doing physically, it has a meaning, it has a value. Okay, I cannot say tomorrow onwards I'll do like Bali Maharaj, but I have to offer obeisances. But when we do it, we give not only our body, our mind, words, right? Even if you try to do it, the Lord is very merciful, right? So then there are the other part is, right. So when he was trying to go now, he offered the obeisances. Now he is, when he entered, his body is becoming illuminating like a molten gold, right. That's a very important. So where Prabhupada says the body changed into spiritual existence, and therefore it was illuminating like molten gold, right. So that's how when we look at devotees, always we can see their tejas, their face, their one, always one, because they have their Krishna in their heart, right. So we can always look back our old photos and see how we were and how we are now. That shows it's not. That's the only thing, because then change. So the very important here, the point is Prabhupada finishes the importance of having in the temple, right? Because he says when we have in the temple, it's not none of the modes. I'll just read that one. As soon as we are in a temple, we should know well that we are situated differently from the material world. In the temple, Lord Vishnu is his throne, his room, all are other things associated with the temple are transcendental. The three modes have no entrance into the temple. Right? This is another one very important one. What is the importance of a temple? Right? So we all know. So when we enter into temple, when we in front of Radha Gopinath, you have so much of problem. You have everything. You have so much of stress and everything going through day to day. But you come in front of Radha Gopinath, you can see there is a totally everything will be transformed, right? That's a whole, because the environment, these are all not just marvels. These are all what so many devotees have walked in this floor, and then so much of chanting is being done. It's a whole vibration. Even though people like me is not eligible, the Lord is here, and then that environment itself will lift us. That's a whole. Right? So, see, in our forest, the case is whenever we have a very tough day, it's very simple. We'll just come here to the temple. So, we'll completely forgotten what we are having it. Maybe next day that will be a different story, but that day we'll just know, okay, at least we have done. That's the only thing. That's the reason. Some days, if something can't be on that one, we can try it in coming to the temple. You can at least forget it. That's the only thing. Because the whole world, if you step out of the temple, right, it's all it's a very hard, I don't know, good mode of goodness, I don't know where it is. Definitely Sydney doesn't have any forest, or it's no one, but it's a full of passion and ignorance, right? You go to, that's a whole place. Right? So the only place which Prabhupada writes, it's beyond that one. So that's the reason where Prabhupada always says that one. So he brings that temple, right? So he has that temple. So that's the very importance of the temple. So one, right? So I'll just end with one more conversation with Prabhupada, where in Hari Sauri Prabhu, he writes in his conversation, right? So Prabhupada, one time he's traveling in the car, and then he sees there are very big statues out there. So Prabhupada says, and then there is one devotee with Prabhupada. People actually want to worship, but they don't want to worship Krishna, but they have the tendency to worship. Prabhupada says very clearly, no, they don't worship anyone, they worship only their senses. So all these things they want to worship their senses. That's the only thing. They don't worship anyone. Only for their sense gratification or to show off, they just do the building the statues and everything. Right? But when we come to that temple, we do worship the Lord. We are not coming here for our sense gratification, right? Even though we do gratify our senses with nice prasad, but we get purified, right? So that's the whole purpose of it, right? So yeah, that's all. I'll stop here. I'll just summarize it. So there are very three important points. One is that Lord and his all the paraphernalia, his associates are has to be as equal as worshipable. It's a transcendental, right? We've seen how the even looking at the devotees, we start thinking of the Lord, right? That's one important point. And second thing is like offering the obeisances, importance of offering obeisances. And then third one is that the body is being, if you having Krishna with our heart, our body gets changed. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Kundan ki jai. Any correction, any comments? Srila Prabhupada ki, yes Mataji. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Means, yes, it's not mentioned whether he went to Krishna Prema kind one, but when he is doing that meditation, that in the previous verse, right? Um, so, means earlier it says that when he is doing meditation, he is entered into the samadhi. He's in the transcendence, always thinking about the Lord offering one. That's the one it's been said. Whether it is in the which stage of one, it's not mentioned, Mataji. Okay. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.